Good morning, everyone. Princess Alethea here with some coffee. I actually made this coffee yesterday. Sometimes it takes me 3 days to drink 1 cup of coffee. I just stick it in the fridge, and I really like cold coffee, like iced coffee, especially in Florida. Hey, Nat. Good morning. I saw your weird dream last night. Thank you for taking care of me. And also, I hope your angel gets a good name. Yeah, so I made this coffee yesterday when I was talking to Tempest and then drank like 3 sips of it. So I just stuck it in the fridge. So now I have this beautiful coffee waiting for me. Goodness. Yeah, I'm, like I said, I can maybe drink a cup a day. I sometimes make myself more, and then I don't drink it and realize, oh, that's right, I can only drink a cup a day. I try not to drink it after 4 because of the sleeping thing. Good morning, Bank. Hi, Chris. Love you guys. Yes, Chris is my fairy godmother. Happy Fairy Godmother's Day. So yesterday, my big task ended up being downloading these videos, the live videos from Facebook to put on YouTube. I managed to do all but 2 of them. For some reason, 7 and 9, ironically my favorite Final Fantasy games, are giving me trouble. And so I may have to go through a different... You can download them straight from Facebook if you own the page and you have done the live video. But there are other sneaky ways where you can go to a website and download someone else's Facebook video by using a specific URL. They do have widgets for that, and I think I'm going to have to use that for 7 and 9 because after many, many trials, I tried restarting my computer, I tried all the things, and I just couldn't make it work for 7 and 9. So if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, good morning, Christine. Oh no, Chris, I'm so sorry you have a migraine. That's awful. A bunch of my friends on my Facebook news feed, I realized it. When was I up? 5 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. A lot of my friends are having migraines today. So I'm not sure what's up with the world, but they tend to go in waves. Or they just tend to go in waves on my Facebook feed because Facebook sees migraine and decides that's what it's going to show me in the algorithm. Yeah. My life is better when I am off social media. It just is. It just is. It's been nice these last few days being so busy. Of course, you know, the emotional turmoil has not been the best, but it has been nice not being on social media and just being in my own space. I don't do that enough, and I should do more of it. I'm not as addicted to social media as some of my friends, so I'm grateful for that, but I still do have that compulsion to check my phone all the time. Even if it's just to look. I don't even necessarily get involved with folks, comment and like and answer emails and all that thing. Sometimes I just glance at it to make sure the world isn't blowing up. Maybe that's why I check it, because our world has a tendency to blow up all the time. But I'm trying to fight the compulsion to check my phone all the time. Today I won't even need to fight that compulsion because I'm going to need to clean the house again. Because I cleaned the house before May 1st, and I've been living in it now for almost 2 weeks. And things need to happen like laundry and cleaning the bathrooms again, taking out the trash again. Yesterday I started going through the refrigerator and freezing things that were appropriate to be frozen. I'm down to the last few things that it's not necessarily what I want to eat, but it's what I'm going to need to eat to clean out the refrigerator. Chris still says Tuesday or Wednesday. She hasn't given me a specific. it's Tuesday or Wednesday. So the plan is get everything now, try to get it all squared away. I have my to-do list. So this has been my to-do list. See that giant mark is, I have done all these things. The last one is the blurb for Annie's book, which, let's be honest, I'm like 3/4 of the way through the book. At this point, I'm just reading it now because it's a great book. I have enough notes to write a blurb. I need to just write the blurb. I also need to finish Nicole's poem today. We can talk about that later. But anyway, this is my to-do list, and on this side has been all of the other things that I need to check at the last minute. Like I have some mini Kit Kats that Bianca gave me at Christmas. I froze them. And so I need to remember to get those out of the freezer and throw them in my little cooler bag to take on the trip with me. I also need a freezer pack to throw in the cooler bag. So I do need to go into the freezer at some point, but I'm going to forget it because every time I open the freezer, I go, oh, that's right, those Kit Kats are in there. And every time I close the freezer, I forget about them again. It's like magic. Good morning, Jenna. My eye mask. I have one that my mom got me and I love it so much. It's very soft, it's large, and it's very soft. And I need another one because I would like to keep one in my travel bag and one here at home. But right now I only have one. So I sleep with it, and then when I don't need it, I put it in the travel bag. So Monday I will put that in the travel bag because chances are Tuesday, good morning, Tiffany. Did you give me candy for Christmas? No, I left candy at your house for Christmas. You gave me candy for Easter. It was in all the little eggs, all the little Kit Kats. But I brought over Twix and stuff for Christmas, and I gave you a bag, and then I kept a bag. That got me through Diary of a Mad Scientist Garden Gnome. Sometimes I reward myself, or sometimes I just need chocolate because I'm depressed. Bianca's very good at stealing me. She's really very good. So anyway, my eye mask. I don't want to forget my eye mask. Now, granted, while we're on the road, we usually wake up too early for me to use the eye mask. Normally, when I use the eye mask, it's at night because I take a shower and do all my things, and Chris stays up to Photoshop some pictures so she can get them to her agent who sells them for her. Because she's a professional photographer. So she has someone who does that for her, and they're very time sensitive. All the weather stuff is very time sensitive. So she needs to get those out right away. She likes one at least that she can post. She puts her watermark on it, that sort of thing. I was very bad about doing that. At that point, I would just put my eye mask on, say 5 things on Patreon, and go to sleep. This year, I'm going to attempt, now that I know exactly what it takes to go in and edit a picture. I can do it with my cheap version. It's a super old version of like Picasa, but I know how to work it really easily, enough so that I can put up a couple of pictures for you guys from the hardcore camera. I will be posting pictures from my phone, but we all know iPhones do not have the quality that other phones have, and never mind, they definitely don't have a quality that my beautiful Nikon has. So I will still you'll get the idea. The iPhones though do and other phones do the great panorama shots. So those I will post. They will probably post to the Facebook page here, to Instagram if it lets me. Sometimes Instagram is persnickety about the aspect ratio. And when it posts to Instagram, it cross-posts to Twitter. So that's why I like my Instagram /Hootsuite. I like to post on Hootsuite because it'll cross-post to all those things. So if you're following my Facebook profile page, you're not going to see anything for a little while. It's all going to be on Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon, because I will definitely be updating my Patreon, folks. I will not be using Lens anymore. I don't like the fact that it all goes away after 24 hours. There's so much that I did last year that just poof in 24 hours. Like that video we did with Justine. Apparently on Instagram, I looked it up, and the only time you can save a video to Instagram is the second after you post it. I guess somewhere it prompts you to save the video, or in the settings you can change it to save the video. But if you miss that window of time, that's it, you're done. You will never see that video again. So I hope you guys got to watch the video of us surprising Justine with her dedication in Little Witch and Wizard, because now it is gone to the winds of time. Despite the fact that everything on the internet is forever. That one is not visible to us anyway. I said Christmas? Okay, whatever. It's candy. I hoard candy and then I never eat it. It's my candy problem. Every so often I crave it though, and then I can't find it. I have this weird relationship with chocolate. Normally I just go over to my parents' house and get it because my parents know that the secret to good chocolate is going to Aldi's. Did you guys know this? Aldi's is the secret to good chocolate, and this is why. Because American chocolate is terrible. British chocolate is slightly better, but American chocolate is terrible. I can say this because I grew up on Belgian chocolate. So I've been spoiled. My palate has been spoiled for really good chocolate. Belgian chocolate is some of the best chocolate in the world. Surrounding there is like Swiss chocolate, German chocolate. Those are okay. Aldi sells German chocolate for super cheap because they import stuff from Germany for super cheap. So you may think that it's an off-brand, but let me tell you what, it came from Germany. Go buy it. It is the secret to cheap, really good chocolate. Belgian is better than British, but British chocolate rocks. Well, British chocolate is, let me tell you, it's okay. I like Thornton's, the toffees. The chocolate toffees. Those are my favorite. Thornton's chocolate, I think, was my favorite. Cadbury. Everybody thinks English and they think Cadbury, and Cadbury to me is like Hershey's and Reese's. I am not a fan. Norwegian. I have not tried Norwegian chocolate. I would like to. I've tried Greek chocolate. Greek chocolate, surprisingly, is actually pretty good. Of course, for me, it's always going to be some sort of dark chocolate with hazelnuts in it. Again, that comes from my British chocolate upbringing. Morning, Jenny. Oh, are you going to Comic Palooza again today? Or was yesterday your only day at Comic Palooza? I saw a couple of your pictures in the TARDIS. I was very jealous. Oh, very jealous and yet not jealous. I was thinking last night or this morning about how I'm doing a lot fewer conventions, but they just take so much out of me. So I miss it, but also I'm glad. Icelandic chocolate. Ooh, I bet. Okay, I should make a list. Let's see. If any of you find any of this and want to bring it to me at some point, Icelandic. I'm actually using Icelandic soap that a friend of mine gave me. It's really great. It's one of those, it's almost like lava. It has those exfoliating things in it. It's actually ash. Icelandic ash. It's very exfoliating and it leaves little dots all over my skin sometimes if I don't rinse it off well. Icelandic and Norwegian. Okay. Chocolates. Yes, if anyone buys me chocolate, know that I like dark and hazelnuts. Those are my favorite thing. Con Carolinas. No, I will not be at Con Carolinas. My next convention is Dragon Con. Technically, I guess my next conference, I do have a conference, the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, SCBWI, has an Orlando conference in June, but it's only open to SCBWI members, and it's mostly all workshops and things. It's not, they have one table that sells books. It's not like a dealer's room. It's more of a working conference. So technically, I will be at SCBWI, but my next con is Dragon Con. That's all I did this year was ICFA and Dragon Con. I was gonna do Gen Con, but then I realized that storm chasing and Dragon Con was gonna definitely put a hit into my budget. Oh, yay! Anyway, so I canceled Gen Con for financial reasons. And other reasons, but mostly financial reasons. Jenny met up with Janet Lee last night and got her to sign a copy of Wonderland Alphabet, which is out of print, so make sure you keep your copy nice and shiny. And Diary of a Mad Scientist Garden Gnome. Janet signed those for her. And drew a sock monkey. I miss Janet's sock monkeys. I tried drawing sock monkeys once at a convention in Greensboro because it was very dead. So I would draw little like Pokemon and sock monkeys and sell them. And I think one of the artists actually bought one of my Pokemon, or a minion. I drew some minions. When you're at a Comic-Con, I'm always jealous of the artists at Comic-Con because they can work. They can draw when there's downtime. I can't real quick write a story. I need to, go inside myself and shut everything out, and I can't just pop in and out when I'm writing a story. And folks can do that. I mean, I watched Alex Sinclair color in most of Superman's cape. It was just very soothing watching him color. But he could do that while he was sitting at his table, and I can't do that. So I would start bringing, oh yes, they were Sharpies, pencils, and crayons. And I would bring these to my conference. They're in like a little bag. I still have it in, if I go to a Comic-Con, I can just grab this bag and leave. And I would draw Pokemon and sell them for like $2. And sometimes, or $1, or $5, or whatever the conference was. Sometimes I sold more Pokemon than I sold books, which, yeah, tells you a lot about how much people love art and hate books. They don't. But when you're sitting behind a table waiting for someone to talk to you, it makes you feel like people just hate books. Like, words, no pictures. Ugh, they're like Alice. They don't want books and poems, short poems. It occurred to me, I came up with the idea once, sorry, my allergies are making my nose itch this morning. I came up with the idea once of having sort of like a tip jar where I would write people haikus. But honestly, I'm just not a writer where you can put a quarter in a slot and pop out a poem. That's not me. That's not me. So, I mean, in a way, I guess that would be like commissioning a piece of art, but yeah, my brain doesn't necessarily work that way. So I couldn't guarantee that whatever I would come up with would be good. I mean, maybe after time and practice, I could come up with some fun, exciting things, but yeah, I never warmed to that idea enough to go after it. Good morning, Debbie. Hi. Cheers. Right, so I'm going to clean the house today. Preparing to leave Tuesday or Wednesday. Fingers crossed, everyone. Tuesday or Wednesday. Oh, good morning, Justine. I'm going to do that blurb. I have to do the poem. Okay, so this poem, I've made a lot of notes and I've done a lot of thinking about this poem. And part of me just wants to write this really epic, amazingly complicated poem. And I have like a bit of something. It needs to be short and sweet, like the Little Witch and Wizard poems, right? But the thoughts I have are complicated, like she was lost in the woods and God lights her path to heaven. These sorts of things. They become these complicated things, like her cats. Maybe her cats, when she passed away, gave up one of their 9 lives, and one of their lives is with Nicole right now. I can just, like Bianca's life and death poem, pictures with the cats. I can just see Nicole's spirit up there with a spirit of her 5 cats, even though they are still here in this life. I can just envision that. I can't really I could write a poem about that, but that's not the job. My job is to write a poem for a prayer card. Now, is the poem actually supposed to be a prayer? Not specifically. I feel like it should be not as complicated, though. I feel like it should rhyme. What I have right now doesn't rhyme. These are all the thoughts that are going through my head. So, yeah. By the end of the day, I will have a poem. But I may just have to write down all these thoughts in my head just to get them out of my head and see if something solidifies. I mean, that's kind of what happened with Peter Beagle's, the unicorn poem that I wrote for Peter Beagle's birthday. In my head, it was a much larger, much more epic poem. And I wrote down everything that popped into my head, and ultimately an octet, 8 lines, came out, and it did rhyme. And I thought, well, that's very simple. But honestly, it's just a birthday message. Like, I don't have to be a teacher's pet and turn in a 13-page epic poem. I did that once for my senior English class. Mostly because it wasn't an honors class and my teacher was a jerk and put me in the front row because she knew I would be doing my calculus homework through the whole class, because I could have slept through this English class and made an A. But she stuck me in the front row because she was a jerk. So when she gave us an assignment, like, I don't know, she didn't say write an epic poem, but like, write a poem based on the oral tradition, okay? And people would turn in 4 lines, 6 lines, 8 lines, and I would turn in 3 pages. I turned in a 3-page poem about an assassin who had been hired to kill a woman, but once he got there and he saw her, he fell in love with her and he couldn't shoot her. And so I can't remember, I don't think he killed himself, but there were going to be repercussions since he didn't kill this woman. And he was never going to see her again, but he had to like run away and never be found. Like, he exiled himself. It was a 3 or 4-page poem. Because I was going to make her work for it. That was my punishment to her for putting me in the front of the room. I was an evil, evil child. I know prayer cards don't have to rhyme. I know this. For me, though, the simple, like Witch and Wizard, the simple little ones that get stuck in your head are the ones that rhyme, and I'm not bad at rhyming. I don't want to get too deep and make everyone cry on a prayer card. I want it to be short and sweet and leave them with this kind of feeling, like the feeling you get when you read the Little Witch and Wizard poems. So the Little Witch and Wizard aesthetic is what I'm going for, which I know I can do. I wrote 12 poems in a book just recently for this. So I know I can do it. I will get there. Perhaps if some of these notes, like the first verse of the poem that I've probably not going to use. Where is it? Is it in here? I can share any of my notes that come together. I can share with my sneak peek patrons. How about that? So if you're on the sneak peek level, I will share with you maybe some of these snippets of notes, just to give you a sense of what my notes look like when I'm writing poetry, because it always has to be handwritten for me. Okay, not always, but I prefer to write my poetry. So the first, what I've written that actually sounds like a poem is, there is a prayer in the laughter of the innocent, in the whisper of a kitten's purr, in the rustle of wings lifted by God's young angels. I mean, that by itself is a poem, right? But to me, it's half. It's half of something. So I could use it. I don't know. It's not done. So there you go. It's not done. Yeah, I don't want you to be crying today. But if you have to cry today, I'm hugging you. This is me hugging anybody who's crying today. I don't want to cry today. I want to think of it as a job. Yeah, you know that's not going to happen. You guys, I'm a major weeper. I'm going to just use an entire box of Kleenex probably. I will not do that live. You're welcome. Okay, so the poem, where are my notes for today? The live videos to YouTube. So everything is up on YouTube. I am missing descriptions for some of the videos. I started going through all the videos and writing down the topics. So it's almost like last week tonight with John Oliver. So I have like all the topics of things that I discuss in the videos, which is nice. So if I go, which was the video where I read the poems of Little Witch and Wizard? Which actually I can't remember. Maybe that was on the 7th day. I can go back and check that and rewatch it and see. And some of these are really funny. So I have enjoyed writing the little topics and the descriptions. And it was something that, you know, kept me busy yesterday. I also had some chats with friends. I have a friend who lives up in Omaha, and, you know, every year I just touch base with her and say, if somehow the weather dies and we need a place to stay over for a couple of days, can we crash with you? And of course she says yes, because she's like, you know, my sister we've known each other forever. So many of you I know well enough to where we have the standing invitation of, you come to my house wherever unannounced, I can come to your house wherever unannounced. And yeah, I have many of those, which is good because you are all my family, and I love that about us. I love that about us. So, yeah. Oh, I also I've been putting off sending my plants to my mom's because my plants make me happy. Hey, you guys want to see my seedling tray? Let's go on a field trip. Ha! So this is where I keep my plants that I am tending. I keep them right outside my front door and I water them every day. And they get lots of sun, and then this column blocks them from the afternoon sun. But my desert rose seedling tray looks amazing. So let's see, can I just flip this around? Here we go. So that's the desert rose. It is blooming like crazy because it loves water and sun. And see, right now, there's not a lot of sun. It has the same sort of shade in the afternoon because the sun sets over there. So here is my seedling tray. So that desert rose gave me seeds a couple years ago, and I harvested them. Or maybe it was last year. It was a while ago. I harvested them and recently laid them out, put some soil on them. These are clippings I got from Bianca's, but look, that one on the right has a little bit of green. That's one of the jade plant babies. These are some other clippings from Bianca's house that haven't quite died. This one right here is from my lime tree. Again, clipping that hasn't quite died, so we'll see what happens. I throw everything in the ground, see what happens. That's another clipping from the lime tree that will probably die. That's okay. This is a basil. It's a dark basil that actually smells a lot like anise. But I had it on the porch and it started to die. So I put it out here and it came back like crazy. This is the bonus plant. Look at this little flower. When I bought this tree, because this tree right here is gonna grow up and be that tree. See that beautiful tree? That's a tababuia tree that blooms like a lilac-y pink every February, and I love it. So I bought this one to grow up and plant in the backyard. But it came with this as a bonus, this climber that's a little bit like bougainvillea but does not have thorns, which is very important. And then look at this, it's a bonus that's like a bulb of some sort. I don't know, but it's a bulb that came with the tree, I guess. I don't know where that came from. This was a clipping from Bianca's yard. Look how big that's gotten. That's a trumpet flower. That's just exploded. It's done very well. And here are some more of the jade babies. This big one, this one here, this one's the one I'm gonna give my mom for Mother's Day. So that one is going off to be gifted. Probably tomorrow. My parents are coming back tonight. But these are my babies that I take care of every morning. And sometimes I just like to come out here and sit with them and check on their progress because they're fun and they make me happy. Plants make me happy. Apparently, I forget who told me this, if it was Mom or Graham, said that my great-grandmother, Graham's mother, her name was Augustine, Emile and Augustine. Those were my great-grandparents, my French great-grandparents. Apparently Augustine really also loved flowers, and she would sing to them. I sing sometimes in the presence of my flowers. I don't know that I'm necessarily singing to my flowers, but yeah, I sing in the presence of my flowers. It happens. I play a lot of music outside on the porch, so that also happens. Okay, that azalea is gonna need to be planted. That beautiful azalea, the Mother's Day azalea. So we're gonna see, fingers crossed, that that lives in the yard. It will get watered twice a week, so we shall see. I want it to live. That's a cool azalea. Like, I think it was Tiffany that said she had never seen a multicolor azalea. Me neither. Me neither. And they are crazy pretty. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. Anyway, do you guys, the chat's been going on and I've just been talking. Hi, Laura. Who else is, yeah, Jenny's having a tough day today, you guys. Love you, Jenny. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Caro. Love you guys. Do you have any questions for me? You know, any questions at all? Type them in the chat. Say hi. Yeah, I will pop in tomorrow. It will be a frenzy of cleaning and things today and tomorrow. So there's probably not going to be a ton to talk about, but wouldn't it be nice if for 5 seconds after I've done all these other things, I actually sat down and started writing my book? Yeah, that'd be nice. I've still been writing it up here. Just because it's not on paper doesn't mean I haven't been writing, you guys. I'm what we used to call, when I was a baby writer in the Codex Writers, we used to call this process being an Athena writer, because Athena was born from Zeus's head, fully formed, totally clothed. She gave Zeus a splitting headache, kind of like Chris has today, and Hephaestus split his head open. I think that's why they call it a splitting headache. And Athena sprang forth fully formed. So I like to tell myself the story over and over and over and over again and go over the plots, and I forget things and I remember things, and if I remember things, then chances are it's important to the story. And I remember these things and I try to say, okay, if this was the first chapter and it was unfolding, how would it unfold? Because I don't want to do flashbacks right away, but I still want to do callbacks to certain things that introduce certain characters. How do I want all that to happen? So I think at this point, I could probably sit down and write Bob's first chapter, my gelatinous form, their first chapter, because Bob is a they. I could write their first chapter. That would be, I think that would go well. And sometimes I forget. It's like I know deep down in my brain, but I don't trust it. I know that when I start writing, sometimes the plot just unfolds because it's already in my head, and it will just unfold and things will surprise me. And I know this happens because it happens every time, but I don't trust it. Yes, Jenny, I am absolutely percolating. That's what's happening right now in my head. A little bloop, 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 bloop. So I say, like, putting it on the back burner. Lots of cooking analogies work for me because I'm Greek, probably. And there was a lot of cooking and being in the kitchen when I grew up. We do everything in the kitchen or around the dining room table. Greeks will sit around a table for hours. Dinner lasts hours. The actual food portion of dinner does not last hours, but the coffee and the talking and the stories and you sit around a table forever. Know that if you are ever in a relationship with a Greek person, it's going to last forever. If you would not like to be part of the festivities, just go somewhere else. But don't think that other person is going to follow you because they're having fun sitting around the table telling stories too. Even if it's a story they have told 700 times before, it's still a great story and you're still gonna laugh, and it's part of the whole game. It's like a storytelling game. Mexicans too. Thank you, Justine. Yeah, it's very popular. I'm not sure why this isn't as popular in parts of America. Haha, Tiffany, I adopt you. You are now Greek. There you go. We shall eat lamb together and order gyros like you're supposed to order gyros. You're my new Greek sister. Bravo. Or oppa, right? I'm supposed to say oppa. Romani. I have some Romanian. Not like Romani, but not Roma, but Romanian. According to my DNA, I do have Romanian. I know how to say like 5 phrases in Romanian because a friend of mine found out that she had Romanian ancestry and fell in love with it. Well, it's, romantic comes from this. So it was a very romantic notion for her to be part Romanian. So she pulled up Rosetta, like one of those things online that teaches you 6 phrases before it forces you to pay for things. So we learned how to say thank you, which is mulțumesc, and how to say like hi, how are you, which is ce mă faceți, and then you say I'm fine, thank you, totul e în regulă, mulțumesc. I'm sure I'm murdering the accent, but buonasera, it's very Italian derivative. It's very close to Italian. It's a romantic language. It's one of those branched off languages. So some of the phrases are very close to Italian. So yeah, the next day when everyone woke up, they all had forgotten their Romanian. I was the only one who remembered it, which was very weird. It was like suddenly I was like, did that even happen? I woke up this morning knowing Romanian. No one else remembers Romanian. Did I dream this? What happened? So my memory is still good for some things. My family tends to pick up languages fairly well. There's a great story about how my sister learned how to say a word in Nigerian, or one of the languages in Nigeria. I don't know exactly which language, but the word was ekaro. I don't even know how you're properly supposed to spell it. I don't know. But someone taught her how to say this word, and it probably means something like good morning or thank you or something like that. We typically try to learn the phrases that are useful. So she was in, we all have stories like this. She was in a convenience store. Yeah, like convenience store, gas station, bodega, one of these places. And she goes to get a coffee and she got a refill. Like it's a certain price if you get a fresh coffee, and then it's a certain price if you get a refill. And in Charleston, all of these little bodegas, you know, it's like a small town with a bunch of tourists in it. So all these bodegas know you and you go many, many times. And so she went and got a coffee refill, and the man behind the counter charged her for a full cup, like a fresh cup. Good morning, Sarah. And she said, no, this is a refill. You're only supposed to charge me 25 cents. And he says, I don't remember, like something to the effect of, what? I know you're lying to me. You can't lie to me. I know the truth. I am Nigerian. I know the truth. And at some point where he said, I know you're lying, I'm Nigerian. Something like that came out. And she said, oh, you're Nigerian? Do you know ekaro? She says, ekaro. And he goes, how do you know ekaro? And he flips that she knows any Nigerian at all, or any dialect of any language said in Nigeria at all. And he gives her the coffee for free. So we love learning languages in my family. We love it. There's an Anna story about how she learned some Japanese. I will tell that one on a different day. For right now, I'm gonna let you guys head out, and I'm gonna start doing some cleaning, and I will check in tomorrow. And I may or may not read you this poem. I don't want it to make anybody cry. So I love you all so much. Have an amazing day. Mwah. A million kisses. My life, remember, my life is better with you in it. So stick around. Be safe. Hug a friend. Call someone you love today. I love you all so much. Mwah.